Good morning, Dan and Amy. Hey, Governor Evers, when residents of Cook County can ridicule you for your administration of an election, you know you've done something terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. I haven't seen such reckless disregard for the rules as exhibited by Governor Evers by a cheesehead since Charles Martin.
Really?
Remember him?
What did Charles Martin do? No, I don't remember.
You don't remember Charles Martin?
No, I don't.
You call yourself a Bears fan?
What
Charles Martin was the defensive lineman who picked up Jim McMahon and slammed him to the ground after the whistle. Yeah. A confounding election and even more grotesque coverage of it. Associated Press. Are you serious? Wisconsin voters forced to choose between health and democracy.
Oh, please.
But
that's a bit of a stretch.
But what they're also doing, more importantly than the melodrama, is they're trying to flip the script and put this all on Republicans,
right?
Who wouldn't assent to a move that Governor Evers made that he had just a week earlier said he couldn't do. I can't suspend the election or postpone the election by executive order. He needed the General Assembly. He didn't get the General Assembly. Then he tried to suspend the election by executive order, something he knew he couldn't do. And then he's upset that they didn't go along with it. The courts didn't go along with it.
Went off on Wisconsin GOP for forcing election. It's their fault.
Of course he did.
It is absolutely disaster. He was going on and on last night on his show. But how did this happen?
It happened because Governor Evers wanted to move forward with the election. There was ample run-up time for him to do what other states have done to postpone their primary, like Louisiana, other states. And he chose not to right up until the deadline, and then it was too late. And then he tried to just sort of make up his own rules. And guess what? The court said, well, hey, it's not our job to make the rules, but it is our job to say these are the rules the the Constitution and the legislative bodies have set up. You can't operate outside the rules. He went to federal court. He went all the way to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. And so you had an election yesterday where people are, doing drive-up voting, waiting 4 hours, and we won't get results for a week.
And they tried to do social distancing, and people wore masks, but they were not happy.
They should have prolonged it or pushed it back.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to push back to June. But that's what we did here. Governor Pritzker, he shut down our restaurants. Remember the sequence of events? Shut down the restaurants and bars. And then we still had an election. It made no sense because I don't know about you, but I was crammed at Wells Park and people were not social distancing.
Well, here's the thing.
It was hot in there and it smelled really bad, but don't get me in. I don't want to get started on that.
Here's the thing about it. You can argue about going forward with an election at the time, on March 17th election at that time, based on what we knew at the time and was anticipated at the time. You can argue it one way or the other. I think there are legitimate arguments for both. The problem that Pritzker has is he's pretending to have foresight that he didn't have, and he's holding up people who lacked the same foresight that he lacked for all kinds of other decisions. He doesn't want to accept any responsibility for the fact that March 17th election, it's more likely than not that enhanced the spread of the virus.
Of course it did.
Right.
People were coughing and hacking around me. I couldn't wait. I voted as fast as I could, and I got the hell out of there.
Meanwhile, he's telling us what a hero he is and what third eye Nostradamus-like wisdom he possesses. That's the problem with the rhetorical position that he's taking. For more on what's happening in Wisconsin, including a disturbing case of a teenager being threatened with jail over postings on social media, we're pleased to be joined by Luke Berg, Deputy Counsel for Wisconsin's Institute for Law and Liberty, former Deputy Solicitor General and Assistant Attorney General for the Wisconsin Department of Justice. Luke, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, before we get to this case about this Wisconsin teenager, what about the chaos that I assume is, or the fallout is still being assessed from yesterday's election?
Well, yeah, like you said, I think personally, if they had agreed to push back the election like a month ago, I would have supported that. But the governor doesn't have authority to do it unilaterally the day before the election, especially when a week ago he said he doesn't have the authority to do it. He admitted he doesn't have the authority to do it. So the fact that he waited till the night before just looks like obvious political gamesmanship to me.
With respect to this teenager in the Westfield School District in Marquette County, A 16-year-old high school sophomore who had symptoms of coronavirus posted about it on social media was ordered to delete the posts and threatened with jail by local authorities. Explain to me how this all transpired.
Yeah, so she was on a spring break trip to Florida till March 15th. So this was in the middle of when the country was shutting down over the coronavirus. So the trip ended a little bit early because Universal Studios closed down. They get back, and about 3 or 4 days later, she starts experiencing symptoms. Her parents take her to the hospital on March 22nd, and the doctors there say, "We think you have the coronavirus. All of your symptoms match. It's upper respiratory. But due to the testing criteria at the time, we can't test you. So go home, strictly self-quarantine. Here's an inhaler. Come back if it gets worse." 3 days later, it did get significantly worse. So she goes back to the hospital. She's actually ambulanced down to Madison and treated there, where she's eventually tested. She tests negative, but the doctors tell her, "We think you still had it. You just missed the testing window because you're in recovery." So while she's there, or maybe when she gets home, I'm not clear about that, she posts to Instagram a picture of herself in the hospital with an oxygen mask that says something like, "Winning the fight with COVID-19. A day later, a deputy shows up at her door with a screenshot of that post and says, "I received a complaint from the sheriff received a complaint from the district administrator. I'm here on direct orders from the sheriff to order you to take this post down, and if you don't, to start citing you for disorderly conduct and taking people to jail."
My God,
Obviously,
what is
a
going on in this world?
shocking violation of First Amendment rights. So as soon as we got contacted, we immediately swung
Communist
into
country
action.
of Wisconsin.
Does Marquette County think they're located in the UK and you can dispatch police to arrest people for social media posting?
Yeah, I don't know. It's obviously a blatant First Amendment violation.
And
have you reached
yeah.
out to her? I mean, tell me about how. Have you talked to her?
The student?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We represent her and her parents.
Right.
So we sent a letter on her behalf to the sheriff and the district administrator saying, this is an obvious First Amendment violation. Please withdraw the threat, confirm that you won't threaten future social media posts, and apologize to the family for what you did. So we've heard from attorneys for both the district administrator and sheriff, and we're kind of in the middle of negotiations to see whether they will do what we've asked or not.
What about the honorary member of the Stasi in that school district, the administrator who apparently contacted law enforcement to get over to her house?
Yeah, same. We sent a letter to him as well. We've heard from his attorney. We're still waiting to hear whether he will apologize and admit that what he did was wrong. So we'll see. Hopefully they recognize, once they talk to their attorneys, that this was an obvious First Amendment violation and, make some amends. But if not, then litigation could be forthcoming.
But what's the point of trying to have her take it down? I mean, it's already out there. I don't get it.
So I think what happened is she posted the post, and some of the other students who were on the trip saw it, and obviously were concerned. If she got it, maybe they got it. And so the parents started calling the school district saying, "Hey, did somebody contract COVID-19 while on the trip?" And the school district's response was to, rather than call the family and have a conversation about it, which they should have done, the district administrator checked with the local health officials and saw that there were no confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the county at the time, assumed that she was lying about it, and jumped into action and sent the deputy. Right? What he should have done is he should have called the family, asked how she was doing, asked what the doctors told them, and then told the other parents on the trip the truth, saying she tested negative, but she has all the symptoms, and the doctors told her she likely had it, so you should watch your kids to make sure that, they don't have similar symptoms, right?
Do you have any
That's
sense?
not what happened.
Do you have any sense of what the community's reaction is upon this getting some press and people learning about how this was handled? Because it seems to me it's with school district officials, it's like politicians. The scary thing is partially what they do. The scarier thing is the support they have to do it.
Right. I haven't gotten a sense from families in the district what their view on this is. I know the father posted about this on Facebook after it happened, and a lot of the comments were very supportive of him and shocked, sort of surprised that this happened, and fully supportive of him taking action. But I don't know about the actual families on the trip.
And how's she doing? This sophomore, sort of this whole imbroglio that she's been through.
Yeah, she's recovering. She's healthy now. Obviously, this event shook her up.
Yeah.
In addition to a deputy being sent, the district administrator, the same day that the deputies showed up, sent out an email blast to all the families and students in the district saying, I heard a rumor that somebody caught COVID-19 on the trip. Let me assure you there's no truth to this whatsoever. This was a foolish means to get attention. This is utter nonsense. So this has significantly damaged her reputation. Every one of her classmates who was on the trip knows that message was about her. And so from her perspective, she fears going back to school because she reasonably thinks everyone's going to think she was a liar and was making this all up. And so part of what we're asking the district administrator to do is to send out an updated notification acknowledging that what he did was wrong, that he didn't actually have information because he didn't have her medical records or knowledge of what the doctors told her, so that can repair her reputation somewhat.
Maybe they should just have her wear a scarlet C for COVID-19 just to be on the safe side. Make sure she's properly ostracized. I mean,
I'm sure that's what it feels like to her, right?
It's incredible. Luke Berg, Deputy Counsel for the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, former Deputy Solicitor General and Assistant AG for the Wisconsin Department of Justice. Luke, thanks for joining us. Good luck with this case.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Podcast of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. At Ace, we always have been and always will be committed to our local communities because we're here to help others. So in this time of need, your local Ace remains open. And since we're in your neighborhood, we can deliver almost anything you need. So shop in store or online for the home or yard products you're looking for and choose from top brands like Steel, Ego, Toro, and Scotts. Then you can pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your door. Help is just around the block. See acehardware.com for details.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer,
a million questions flood your mind.
How can this be happening?
Am I going to be able to work?
What's a subtype?
What do I do now?
We know.
We went through it too.
But once you start to understand your options,
you can partner with your doctor
and find ways to face MBC on your own terms.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com and learn how to speak up and have a more informed conversation with your doctor.
Some questions have answers.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com to find some of yours.
You own or run a business with an office or warehouse, now's the time to take action to keep your facility, your employees safe and healthy. Right now, hospital and surgical grade disinfecting is available for all surfaces. Now, this disinfecting is EPA registered and approved for coronaviruses and 140 other organisms. Folks, this is better than deep cleaning. It's made to take care of what we are dealing with right now. So take action to keep your facility, your employees, and soon-to-be visitors safe and healthy. Contact chicagolandmold.com.